roof now. Remember, it was epoxy primed. I blocked that to find the dents. I wiped the whole roof, blocked the filler down, and then ended up priming it. Now I'm blocking that primer. It's coming out pretty good. There's a couple spots, a few spots that are showing up where it's a low spot is what it is. You can see it's either shiny or you can see the guide coat. So some people ask, how do you know when to block and when to fill? Well, you keep blocking as long as you got primer. There's another spot. As long as you got primer, you keep blocking until you start to see where it's going through. That's filler underneath. Once you start seeing filler, it's time to stop. Then you would fill. But I still got plenty of primer on here. That's probably gonna go away. Pretty small. If not, we'll fill it. But you block until you see the filler coming through, and then you stop. So I'm blocking this with a long stick. I'm getting a wide, long, flat block, blocking on this roof. And I have this low spot right here. So I'm trying to block it out. Well, as I'm blocking down, I'm slowly starting to see the filler through the primer over here. So that tells me it's time to stop and put a little bit of filler in this. It's not a very big spot, so we need to fill that versus trying to block it down. Now, if I just started blocking and this was a high spot and it just showed right up, I might keep cutting it down a little bit. But I've been blocking for a while. This thing is really flat, and I've just got a slight low spot. So that's a spot that we'll fill instead of trying to block out. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, take a pencil and go around this, because you need to sand the spot in the middle to make sure the filler sticks to it. But once you sand it, it looks like everything else. So I'll go around with my low spots and find them, put me a pencil mark around them, sand in the middle, and then I'll know where to put my filler, and I won't lose those spots. So I've got everything above this body line worked really, really well. The top section is ready for primer, but I'm gonna go ahead and sand all this, and I'm gonna work my cab corners. I'm gonna go ahead and work any filler that needs to be done on the cab corners on each side. That way I can do the whole top section of the roof and the whole back of the cab, everything that's connected as one section when I prime it. So I jacked this thing up, put it on jack stands so I could reach everything, so that everything would be able to be worked in my comfort zone. You want to keep it right in front of you so you can get your hands on it, get it worked like it needs to be. So that way I can reach everything and I'm less likely to miss something. If you got something that's in a uncomfortable position to get to, you're not going to spend very much time there. So there's a better chance that you're going to miss getting something as good as it needs to be. Now I've got this thing up where I can get to it, and I'm noticing that the bottom of the panel is in a little bit, the door is in just a little bit. And it's almost out a little bit on the top. It's really, really close. So now it's the time to fix that. I've got the seal in, got the latch in. I've got everything closing like it needs to. But this door needs just a little bit of adjustment. And this is one thing about these doors, these trucks. The door doesn't always fit the hole, right? So even though it's lined up in the front, I got the front exactly where I want it. The back is out just a little bit. So if I go changing the hinge position in the front, this door is gonna move around and it's gonna change the position of the back. So I've got the front where I want it. I don't wanna move anything up there, but I still need to move the back, the block of wood. What I'm gonna do is twist the door. So I've got a block of wood in there holding the door open on the very bottom. I'm gonna push in on the top, and that's gonna twist the door, and it should fit better. So that's all I needed. Just a little bit of twisting on the back. Can't always do it with the bolts. By adjusting the hinges, it doesn't always work. Get you a block of wood, you make it go where it needs to go. Here I am starting to work the cab corner. It's in epoxy. And I'm gonna find my dents by blocking over it. This is a little bit of a flat area, so I can use a flat stick. Block over that. And what that's telling me is there's a low spot right here. It's very slight, but it needs just a little bit of filler. Super shiny on the edge because the edge is high. Back here it's making contact. So between this spot and that spot, there's a low area. That's got to be filled. It's just slight, but we want it straight as we can get it. Now we'll get a soft block and block around the corner on this thing. So you'll notice I blocked this way, see if I could find any dents. And now I want to get more contact with the surface. So I'm going to turn my block up and down and block this way. So most of the cab corner is fine. All this rounded area seems really good. It's just that front little section that's slightly low. And we're going to use a little bit of filler and straighten that out. I think that's going to do it for this time. We're about ready for another priming session. Probably come out here tomorrow, sand the rest of it down, go ahead and tape it up, get it some primer on it, and we'll just keep moving on from there. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch y'all next time.